Wednesday night main event is upon us, and we have a pivotal match that could shake things up in the title race. It's TAGUIG FC going up against STALLION Laguna FC. No room for mistakes. How excited are you for this matchup, Diego?
So excited. I'm so excited for this one. You want to make a statement, you want to make a good start, and you want to, stamp your control on the game very early on. Counterattack, he's always ready.
Mark Hartman sending a ball forward for Aguemang. Aldeguer with the through ball for Rachel. First real challenge for Yusuf Butt, and they call it a penalty. Rachel shapes up and hits the bottom frame of the goal and gets the first goal of the match for TAGUIG FC. Clinical nonetheless for Patrick Reichel.
Excellent penalty from Patrick Reichel. Yusuf Butt guesses the right way and he still doesn't save it. That's how you know it was perfectly placed from Patrick Reichel.
His wards.
Yeah, when that penalty went in, the first thing Coach Ernie did was call everyone back to his side.
He's pleading his case. That's a double yellow and he gets a red card. And he's calling off the boys of the field as well. The message is clear, Diego. Coach Ernie Nieras wants his boys to fight. Long ball forward looking for Belgira on the right. Placito to Galeana. Galeana on the turn through ball for Quichi Belgira, and that's been converted by Dorado. We are back on level terms, Diego, here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
And it's an excellent team goal from STALLION Laguna FC. They don't have an outright striker, but they combine so well in the final third. Galeana peeling off from his number 9 position.
With this corner, an outswinger once again. Looking for Baji. Almost an opportunity for STALLION. Now Steven Schrock moving forward. Gets past one. Patrick Ling is in the way. Still with Schrock. Gets past two. Pass to the middle for Aldeguer. Takes a shot. Oh! Deflected in for a goal. What a time to score that go-ahead goal for Andres Aldeguer and TAGUIG FC.
Huge slice of luck in this one. It takes a nasty deflection that beats Yusuf, but they will take it though because they've been under so much pressure in this match. They'll take anything. Aldeguer hits it with a lot of power. It's Gaku who is the unlucky figure, but great work from Stefan Schrock. I wouldn't be surprised if the scoreline is still going to be changed.
For Galeana, but unable to connect. Aguemang, bodies flying everywhere. Moving forward is Aguemang.
Oh.
It's past Macmillan. Still with Aguemang here. Ken Pride with the coverage. Good through ball, but Reichel is offside. Long ball forward looking for Galeana. Kopic.
Oh.
That sweeper keeper role is working well for Kupic as he clears the ball out. With the 1-2 pass for Isagaku.
Hello.
Galeana!
Kupic alert, awake. And he makes a really good save here.
And even the fourth official says get back up. Placito to the middle for Mokota with a shot. Isn't out wide the left post. Takes his time with the ball, dancing away from Belgira. Good pass to Reichel. Through to Haber. And that is it. TAGUIG FC remains undefeated in 2026 and extends their lead at the top of the standings by 5 points after this 2-1 win over STALLION Laguna FC, Diego.
Championship favorites at the point. And yeah, what a position to be in for TAGUIG. Another crucial 3 points against a huge rival, STALLION.
STALLION versus TAGUIG. TAGUIG won in the first round encounter 2-1. Callum, is that going to be a repeat, or do you see STALLION getting some much needed points to play catch up?
Well, I'm obviously expecting something very, very physical here. be interesting to see. Obviously we didn't get to touch upon him, but Stefan Schrock was another one of the winter signings, and slightly impressed for one to gig in the matches he's played, and now playing against his former side theoretically. These are two really, really excellently defensive sides. My personal prediction: I'm going for a low-scoring draw. I'm thinking a 1-1. I'm not think either side will take this, and I think this could be a small slip by one to gig. Take the first match, but Stallion have improved. Just be interesting to see if one to gig's mentality, their recent good form can keep up, or because Stallion are a tough team to get past, and they've always got a goal in them. If not through just their top scorer McDaniel, then through powerful headers and set pieces, etc. So if I'm gonna put it on the line, I'll say it's going to be a one draw, but both sides unbeaten in round two. I think that'll continue.
That wraps up the weekend games. But let's remember, no games on Sunday, but we have games on Wednesday. Valenzuela PB Minjola versus Army. Oh, there you go. I'm glad I'm a monitor guy because I sit behind the monitor. Di ako kita nun. I was calling this game in Jego. This became the intro of one of the Minsan Football Show episodes, if I remember. I think I wasn't there though. Well, obviously I was watching on live stream because I couldn't join you guys at the studio. Don't force the memes, Jago. It just comes. Don't worry. Sorry. May ibang man of the match din last weekend pero di ko pwede sabihin on air also. Next time. So the Wednesday games. The first round encounter of Minjola and Army was 1-0. Balot Doctora scored. He's not with the team anymore. But Minjola stepped up defense. That's the case with Philippine Army. And Natasha, if it's two defensive sides, how does this go? Does one side, I'm oversimplifying this, of course, and exaggerating. Oh, ito, sayo mo na yung bola, kami na lang didepensa. And then they'll pounce in the counter.
You'd,
How does that go?
you'd feel that
Minjola versus Army.
you'd feel that both teams have improved a lot in the second round, but in terms of the players signed, I'd say that Mendiola have just that slight edge over Army in terms of how they've been much more organized defensively. Because with Army, as much as you want to root for them, you face right before half, right before the final whistle, and that's when the goals come in. And we've seen a cleaner Mendiola in terms of they kept it really close, 1-0 one the gig. They lost only three goals against Kaya, so they're keeping the margins that much smaller against the bigger teams. So now it's a chance to see improved on their attacking end as well. And so if they can get the goals, I'd say that may have the slighter edge over.
Just wanted to add also, if Army win that game and grab the first W in their season, they're actually going to overtake Minjola and lead them by a point. But then again, they're going to meet again in the classification or consolation round. So there's that battle again of not wanting to finish in the bottom of the standings. And your main event on April 29, this Wednesday, is Wanta Gig versus Manila Digger. We have been anticipating this one. Digger won 1-0 versus Tagig. Hey, the game's on a Wednesday, guys. And a lot of people tune in on Wednesdays in the live stream, I will say. And I'm sure it will get quite a decent crowd, even by weekday standards, I'd like to think. Natasha. Special game, of course, here. People cannot miss this one. Kahit may championship round pa tayo.
Yeah, this game is gonna be a preview of what if we had a finals. This would have been what the final game would look like, seeing Wanta Gig and Manila Digger battle it out. But I'd say that One Taguig have the slight advantage over Manila Digger because Manila Digger will be coming back from playing in Cebu. So to have, though they both play on a Saturday, you have that extra tiredness from, of course, having to travel from Cebu back to Manila and not really being able to get the proper rest and recovery right away on that Sunday to be able to train Monday and Tuesday. So, they play Saturday, they come back Sunday, they'll still be tired legs on Monday, then they'll only have Tuesday to fine tune themselves before they go again gig. The advantage of Manila Digger is that I have the deeper squad, but yeah, this one that's gonna be a hard match, and I'm sure all eyes will be on this game.
We also have another round two game. The schedule has to be confirmed. Stallion versus Digger. They played to a draw also. It's somewhat not surprising that these close matchups end up as draws again with the way medyo dikit nga yung mga teams natin. I just want to say shout out to Dave Humor and Pom Castro, the announcer. So the guy behind Diego Cordero was posterized in that screenshot is Pom Castro, one of the announcers in the Philippines Football League. Oh, there you go. Direct Glenn was able to show it. There you go. Yan. David and Pom, kita nyo yan ulit. Shout out to you guys, of course. Thank you very much for tuning into the Means and Football Show to our two announcers. But we are going to wrap this one up, of course. That was fantastic previewing this, especially with us in the late stages of the season. But we still have the championship round to go, of course. Some parting words from you guys before we get going. Of course, Jago.
Yeah, I mean, it's crunch time now in the PFL. Fixtures are getting so huge in terms of what's at stake. And yeah, all the more reason to follow the league for one more month. Incredible that we only have one more month remaining after 8 or 9 months of straight action in the PFL. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna bookmark all these games on my calendar because you really can't miss it. So many possible paths the championship race, the classification round can take from this point on. And yeah, there are so many reasons to follow this league. So yeah, I'm excited. Don't know when our next episode will be because the games are just gonna keep going. I think we have a lot more Wednesday games coming up. But yeah, a lot of football for the fans to enjoy.
Some parting words from you, Callum, as we are wrapping up this one. We'll see you in the comment section for sure in this weekend's games, right?
For sure. And exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, thank you guys for having me on. It's been a real delight to contribute in how I can. But yeah, like Diego says, it's probably also just one of the most exciting PFL campaigns that I can remember in a while. You know, we have a real title race on our hands, but there's races all over the park. You look at Stallion, just with the chances that they have to upset the apple carts with their next fixtures against both the top two. At least against once again, yeah. So real exciting fixtures coming up. You've got just bragging rights even between what Aguilas can do, how far they can get. Cebu are still in the mix. You know, Kaya will never want to give up their title without a fight. I think this is definitely one of the most thrilling title races, but league campaign in a long time. And even if you look outside the championship group, the classification group, you know, Toloy will want to be best of the rest. They will want it back from Garelli, and you know that's going to be interesting to see how those fixtures go when you take out those top teams and how they can compete against each other. So lots and lots of excitement coming forward.
Natasha, last but not the least, of course, any parting words from you as we're going to sign off for this evening?
Yeah, I guess if you're in Manila and you're able, or you're in Cebu and able, this would be the best time to catch the game.
A clash so good we have to do it again, only this time with bigger implications heading into the championship round. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium for match number 55 of your Philippines Football League 2025-26 season. This is Jamer de la Cruz alongside Ed Lisaba. And we have a great match at hand. We have Stallion Laguna FC going up against One Taguig FC in the second round of your Philippines Football League. Once again, a huge game out here, Ed. What do you think about the matchup we have at hand tonight?
I mean, you can't really get much more excited whenever you see two top 6 teams go at it. And like you said, it really doesn't get much better than this. Take a look at the standings. We got number 1, One Taguig FC, going up against the number 5, a surging Stallion Laguna FC, who both of them have had a fantastic 2026 thus far. Stallion Laguna hoping to show that they got a lot more in the tank, a lot more fight, a lot more to prove that they are not just satisfied with 5th place. They know that they are a top 3 team. They got that quality, they want to prove that tonight by taking it to the number 1 team in the league, One Taguig FC.
You have One Taguig FC up on the first place of the league standings, but head over to the south. We have 4-0 in favor of Manila Digger FC in that matchup against Cebu. They're currently in second with 48 points, just breathing down the necks of the league leaders. But you also have Stallion Laguna FC in this game. You pointed out how they've been surging throughout 2026. They're currently 5th in the league with 32 points. They've had a draw in their last game against Dynamic Herb Cebu FC, and they had a crucial match at hand here against One Taguig FC. We talk about Stallion Laguna FC first. They've had a crucial game against Dynamic Herb Cebu FC last time around. It was a 1-1 draw for Stallion Laguna FC and Dynamic Herb Cebu. Denzel Roy Vasquez started off the scoring on the 12th minute, only to be equalized by Abu C. Nothing much has transpired throughout that game, but given the circumstance that Stallion Laguna has to face, that point was very important for them, Ed.
Yeah, no doubt, because like I said, they've had a fantastic 2026. Yes, they wanted to go ahead and get that win against Cebu. They felt like it was right there for them, but they couldn't capitalize on the late game chances. They were so active on offense, but unfortunately none of them capitalized, and you have to feel for a team like that because they know they were putting their best foot forward, but Cebu stubborn as always. But of course, as good as the 2026 as they've had, the only real stain on that record is a 2-1 loss, none other than the team that they're facing off again today, One Taguig FC. This is the chance for Stallion to gain maximum points, to recover those lost 3 points from the first encounter. And what a way to do it, by taking it to the best team in the league, One Taguig, who also at this point, One Taguig have only conceded 5 goals this season. And take a look at the team Stallion Laguna's bringing in tonight. The usual suspects, Yusuf Button goal, along with midfielders like Abraham Placito and Isagaku, and of course you can't forget a man like Usman Baji in defense. And who can forget the captain and the leader up front, Griffin McDaniel. I can see that they decided to go with a 4-4-2 formation tonight, but I think I've seen them play 4-4-2 before. They tend to play 1-5-4 on defense if they're coming up against a lot of pressure. And I think they're going to do the same thing today when they face off against an offense that is so highly fluid as One Taguig here tonight.
Well, Stallion Laguna FC will be having the services of Finn McDaniel in this game since he missed out that match against One Taguig FC last time around. But knowing Finn McDaniel up front, who's going to be the provider out there for Finn McDaniel? None other than player number 11, Juan Diego Galeana Trujillo.
Juan Diego Galeana Trujillo, the man on your monitor right now, is indeed, next to Mark Hartman, one of the best playmakers in the league by far. This season, take a look at this. In 18 games, this man has scored 4 goals and provided 15 assists. Easily one of the top 3 best playmakers in the league. Highly effective on his roll down the wings. I've seen him play centrally. He's even dropped down to a 10-spotter, maybe even played as a wide 8. He's so versatile, and if you give him an inch of space down the wings, he's going to exploit it with his pure pace and his creativity on the ball. Ability to find his man running across the opposite flank is second to none in this league. So look to him to be a real difference maker, to supply guys like Finn McDaniel. And with regards to his players, let's take a look at what Coach Ernie Nieras has to say.
Well, we came from Cebu. We felt that we had more chances to score and could have won the game. Last time we played Taguig, a little bit unlucky. So hopefully we'll be able to improve on our performance based on the last time we played Taguig.
Well, Coach Ernie Lleras is looking for a win or even a draw against the league leaders, Taguig FC, who's feeling much of the pressure right now in this season. Not only because they are at the top of the standings, of course, whenever you're at the top, a lot of people will target you up front and they will actually look at you as the number one target. Not the defending champions, though, but they are the target as they are touted to win the league this season. But they have 51 points after 18 matches. They are a match ahead of Manila Digger FC with 3 points away from them. So the pressure is going to be on for Taguig FC. But nevertheless, they've done well in their last match against Aguilas Yumac FC, another formidable team in the top 6, winning 4-1. 4 different scorers in that game in Naoto Hireishi, Isaac Agyemang, Andres Aldeguer, and Goldeson Casemiro sealing the deal for Taguig FC. Do you think everything's working so far for Coach Arvin J. Suleiman with this starting lineup?
I think Arvin J. Suleiman is blessed with such a talented attacking squad. Heading into this game, they are the second best offense in the league. They've scored 83 goals this entire season, second only to Manila Digger, who at this point have 95 goals. So it's quite of a way to go to catch up. But to make up for it, Taguig brings the best defense in the league by far. 5 goals conceded this entire season, a real testament to their fluidity, their solidity at the back. We saw how they hounded those Aguilas attackers in the last game. And take a look at the starting lineup here. Again, the usual suspects: Milos Cupic, Daisuke Sato, Stephen Holm. And today, he wasn't here last week, but Patrick Reichel returns to the front line. It's the usual 4-2-3-1 for Coach Soliman. And again, making use of such a fluid defense that can transition beautifully to a sharp counter-attacking offense. I think that they can pull it off again. Another shock result against a top 6 team. But who knows? Who knows?
Well, with a team having the least amount of goals conceded in the tournament, you have to rely on your goalkeeper, Milos Kupic, who is the player we are going to watch out for this game. The birthday celebrant from yesterday, only having 11 clean sheets across 14 matches, only conceded 5 goals in the entire tournament so far. He's the man to look out for at the back. He has to build up the back line and make sure that no one gets past him. And even so, he has the flexibility to get those saves and keep those goals away from the goal mouth. But it's all about the tactics of the team. And now let's listen in to Coach Arvin J. Suleiman of Taguig FC.
So I think yung Stallions today, they're going to push us, so they really want to get the 3 points against us. So talagang ipupusin na tong game na to, but we are prepared. We are prepared to play against them, and hopefully we will try our best to get the 3 points tonight. Yung players ngayon is very motivated pa rin, talagang ayaw nilang mag-drop ng points, and I feel it during our team talk. So I hope magawa namin yung game plan namin.
Well, 3 points is what Taguig needs in order to keep that top spot in their grasp as Manila Digger FC is breathing down their necks. But in a few moments, we will have kickoff here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It's Stallion Laguna FC versus Taguig FC in the second round of your Philippines Football League 2025-26. We will have our pre-match ceremonies now.
That is Wisconsin teams.
Club and one Taguig Football Club.
A huge match here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. For Stallion Laguna FC, they want to prove that they're not just in the top 6 because of the mere points that they have over the competition. For one Taguig FC, it's all about keeping the lead and keeping that #1 spot in their grasp. As we look into the starting lineups once again for Stallion Laguna FC, Yusuf Butt will be expected to be the steady hands at the back. For Stallion Laguna, you have Nico Macmillan, you have Isa Gaku, Juan Galeana Trujillo up front, as well as Finn McDaniel, the usual suspects for Coach Ernie Nieras to start the attack. And on the other side, you have Daisuke Sato, the team captain, in the middle with Finn McDaniel. Alongside our match officials, we have Mick John Pineda in the middle of the park, assisted by Reli Balida and Brian Buergo. Our fourth official is Meliton Pelayo, and our match commissioner is Jeremy Mark Pagila. 3 points in order to keep the lead away from Manila Digger FC, as one Taguig FC looks to continue their undefeated spell in 2026. And we have the starting lineups out here. Milos Kupic, who would like to have a late birthday gift of 3 points in this game, leading the line at the back. You have Andres Aldiguera up front. We have Goldison Casemiro. The midfield general in Mark Hartman is there. Patrick Reichelt, one of the team captains of one Taguig FC, looking to make some exploits up front. Then you also have Daisuke Sato, who's wearing the captain's armband right now for one Taguig FC. He's been there before. He's been the team captain of the national team. He's been the team captain of most of the squads that he's played in. And it's going to be pivotal in this game against Stallion Laguna FC. Plenty of names as well to look out for in the substitutes for both sides, especially for one Taguig FC. You still have Marcus Haber out there on the bench. You have Hamed Hajimari, another creative midfielder for them, and a pacey winger in Kurt Dizon for one Taguig FC. Then on the other side, you have Zamorano Hoatam and Jose Bezerra Dorado, who is going to be lurking from the wings if they make it into this game. The stage is set for the second round fixture. First round ended as 2-1 win in favor of one Taguig FC. They ended that in the first half. Nothing much has happened in the second half of that game. But Stallion Laguna FC will be hoping for something different in this matchup, given that they have Finn McDaniel back in the starting lineups against the league leaders. Final checks from our referees and our match officials. We should be underway in a few seconds, and we have kickoff here at the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium for round 2 between Stallion Laguna FC and one Taguig FC. The league leaders playing from right to left, wearing their traditional white and blue kits. Stallion Laguna with black and pink playing from left to right. Early proceedings will be very interesting given how both sides exploit the pockets and defense in the first 15 minutes.
Now, one of the big questions heading into this game is, what did Stallion learn from that first round matchup? Remember, they did lose 1-2 in favor of one Taguig. So what did they learn from that match? That in that particular game, they played heavy metal offense, 200 miles an hour, but Taguig's defense just completely shut down the playmaking areas and the finishing areas, completely hounded them on defense, which nullified them in the second half of that game. So what can Stallion Laguna do? You can see them start to play a possession-based, patient offense, not rushing into anything, trying to stretch that Taguig midfield apart, because if you can get through the midfield of any team, you have more and more chances to send out wave after wave of attacks against the defense. So perhaps this is what they're trying to do here. Didn't work on this occasion. Taguig did regain the ball, but here comes a dangerous chance, snuffed out by Terrence Smith.
Well, if there's one thing we've learned so far with Stallion Laguna FC over the past years that they've been playing in the Philippines Football League or in Philippine club football in general, is that they're very patient when it comes to the build-up of play as well as the growth of the club. They've been waiting for that silverware for almost 14 years now. It's the last time that they won a trophy was back in 2012, back in the olden days of Philippine club football, and they're hoping that they could at least get a chance to have a grasp onto it as they now push forward on attack. Macmillan on the right side, tackled by the number 18, Goldison. It's going to be a free kick for Stallion Laguna FC. You've asked earlier, Ed, what Stallion Laguna FC has learned from that game against Taguig in the first round. Well, there's one thing that we want to point out. They've had plenty of chances in the second half. Yes, it's been a stout defense for Taguig FC in that second half. But if they exploit those pockets of spaces, they make Taguig commit mistakes, they could get a chance to break the barriers out here. They have a free kick to boot with Juan Galeana taking this one in. Long ball forward. Good header in. Just a touch too heavy for Placito. The first real threat just going out for a goal kick.
And that goes exactly with what you just mentioned. If Stallion Laguna can exploit those pockets of space, those moments of miscommunication by those Taguig defenders, they could absolutely walk away with a monumental result here. And like you said, Stallion Laguna, they are one of the pioneering clubs of the Philippine club football scene. They haven't won a trophy since 2012, and they've been so desperate to correct that for so long now. Here comes a dangerous chance by Taguig.
Gemang on the right side looking to open that space. A great defense, nonetheless, from Terrence Smith to kick it out for the first corner of the match for Taguig. That's the kind of, or that's the brand of football that Taguig FC plays in the Philippines Football League. Whenever they get possession, whenever they get the ball, they go for the quick counterattack. You've seen Patrick Reichelt give the quick 1-2 on the right side, just not exploiting much of the defense, but they have a corner to boot. You have Mark Hartman, who's been the midfield general, the creator for them, swinging one in. Bodies flying inside the box. They still have possession here, Taguig. Sending the ball forward now, Yusuf Butt. Threat, good block. Was offside though. What a pressure put on by Stephen Hom, who used to play for Stallion Laguna FC.
And Stephen Hom, what a fantastic signing he's been for Taguig. Such a steady, reliable contributor at the back. Not only is he solid on defense, but he has uncanny ball-playing ability. He has a great ability to play long balls, to bypass an opposing midfield. Such a versatile player. Taguig are very lucky to have him in their defensive line.
If you look into the other side, that's one of the disadvantages of the revolving doors that is called Stallion Laguna FC. They've had plenty of transfers in the winter transfer window in the Philippines. Stephen Hom was one of those players moving into Taguig. I think early in the season he moved over to Taguig FC, and he's been instrumental so far for the league leaders. Patrick Reichelt unable to get a touch to it, but Daisuke Sato will play this ball in. Also important to note, Stephen Schrock is not part of the playing squad today, so another midfield creator out there missing out this game against Stallion Laguna. Placito being challenged by two players. Macmillan gets past Sato, was able to get it across Galeana, and Macmillan to the middle. They now move forward with the number 24, Roy Vasquez, freeing up Galeana on the right side. Looking for that cross. Short one for Finn, but it's been cleared out by the number 92, Mahmoud Ali. And again, they're trying to exploit those paces, but Mahmoud Ali was quick and alert for the possibility.
And Mahmoud Ali, he's coming off a fantastic game against Agilas Umag. He's been so present in that backline performance that really kept out Agilas from doing much damage to his own team. And it's good to see that he's continuing that vein of form here. They're absolutely going to need it from an offense as dangerous as Stallion Laguna FC.
Here's a long throw from Macmillan, but only making it to Placito. Headed away by Mahmoud once again. Kuichi trying to get it over to Macmillan, but that goes out for a throw in. First 6 minutes of the game, and we are seeing the intent from Stallion Laguna FC. They felt that they had the win in the bag. Emotions ran high in their first round fixture. Coach Ernie Llanas had to watch the game from the tunnel for almost the entire match out there, getting the marching orders in the first 20 or 30 minutes of that first round fixture. But this time around, he's calm and composed on the touchline and not hoping to get his emotions get the better of him. Stallion Laguna with the ball, looking to move forward with Abe Placito. Great control, finding Galeana on the right side, freeing up the space. Now trying to thread the ball past Sato, but the shot was overcooked. Either it's a shot or a pass, but it's going to go out for a goal kick.
Now here's something interesting about Stallion's game plan here today. Yes, from the early going, in the past 7 minutes, we've seen them be more of the aggressor here tonight. They've had so much more chances than Taguig. And I know Taguig is a team that doesn't really rely on possession-based play. They don't need much of the ball to do damage to you. We saw that last weekend against Agilas. They just need an incisive chance, a surgical chance to enact those fluid counter-attacking plays. A foul call here on Isagaku. The Stallion will have a chance to restart that play. But yes, as I was saying, Taguig haven't had that chance to become counter-attacking or to try to play quick 1-2s to bypass the Stallion defense. It appears that Stallion have so far done a really good job at nullifying those chances before they even appear.
That's what veterans do. You have Reichelt, you have Sato in your squad, so you know how it's going to work for them. They want to go for the counterattack if they're given the opportunity, and Stallion doing their best in thwarting those opportunities as they try to move forward, but it's been taken away. Now a chance for Taguig FC to go on the counterattack. Terrence Smith was able to head that out for a throw in, but you could see Mark Hartman deep into the back line of Taguig FC looking for that long pass for Patrick Reichelt, but just not connecting.
And if you can recall, Mark Hartman also played a similar deep-lying playmaker role in the first game against Stallion Laguna. It worked perfectly. He fired some beautiful long passes that bypassed the Stallion defense time and time again. And as a result, he was a major contributor in that 2-1 win.
That's the kind of brand of football that Mark Hartman usually plays in. He's not that very vocal in terms of his playing style, but you could even feel him. He's a silent operator in the middle of the park for Coach Arvin J. Soliman, and that's the reason why it's working well for the league leader so far. Isagaku with a strong touch taken away, and now Patrick Reichelt trying to move forward, but it's been taken away by Stallion Laguna FC. They have a chance on a counterattack if Placito can find that open man. Vasquez not ready for the pass, and it's been taken once more by Mark Hartman and Taguig FC. On the counter, looking to switch the play to the left side for Goldison. Taking on the defense, not using that overlap, takes a shot instead, but Yusuf Butt is alert for the possibility and gets the first save of the game for their side.
As you saw in the build-up on that play, when Casemiro received the ball on the left-hand wing, Daisuke Sato went in for the overlap. Perhaps Casemiro didn't see him there, or maybe he couldn't get the pass off. It was a pretty tight angle, but it's good to see that the Taguig offense is there. They have a steady plan to create overlaps down the wings. Go to an area where Stallion will have difficulty in tracking you. That may be your best choice. We haven't seen much offense yet from Taguig, but if they get the chance, I assume, or there's a very good chance that they'll be doing it again.
Finn McDaniel right now in the middle against Venezuela. Now sends it over to Macmillan on the right side. Milos Kupic, steady hands for the goalkeeper there as he plucks the ball out of the thin air. But you've talked about the overlaps that One Taguig FC has been doing. At this stage of his career, Daisuke Sato still playing that wing-back role for One Taguig FC, playing well in defense, and whenever they have the ball, whenever they have the possession, he goes up for the attack. But he has to defend now as a Placito has the ball for Stallion Laguna. Yaku to Vasquez. Now Macmillan on the right. It's a bit crowded on the right side for Stallion, so they have to switch the play to the left side for Terrence Smith.
Just circling back to your comments about Daisuke Sato earlier, I'm not surprised at all that he's been such a workhorse for One Taguig this season, a real leader by example. He wants his guys to put in 100% effort week in and week out, and he has to be the one to show them that even the captain, or especially the captain, is more than capable of doing that. Remember, this is a guy who defended against Aguilas Yumac for the full 90 minutes with one arm, single-handedly shutting down guys like Carta Larok from controlling the wing.
Those are his former employers nonetheless with Aguilas Yumac FC. He learned that underdog mentality, but there is a foul call in the middle of the park. A bit of commotion between Vin McDaniel and Patrick Reichelt.
I believe that confrontation came from a little trade of elbows there between Isagaku and Patrick Reichelt. Here comes the replay. You can see that. Real physical play here early on in the game. Reichelt not appreciating some sharp elbows being thrown there by Gaku. Justified, I would say. But again, we're only 12 minutes in, folks.
This is the kind of game that Stallion Laguna wants to play. Physical and very intense, as Stallion Laguna heading that out.
And right on cue, just as you said the word intense. How about Usman Baji completely clattering Andres Aldeguer, who himself is not a small guy by any means.
Towering defense there from Usman Baji to head that away from Andres Aldeguer. Stallion Laguna FC opting to play it short from that goal kick. Operating from the back. John Pineda says, let's calm things a bit down. Let's take it back to Yusuf Butt for that goal kick.
Now, one of the main unseen strengths Stallion Laguna has is their ability to play the mind games, play mind games against their opponents. You can sort of see that they're trying to do it as early as now, try to irritate the defense, try to irritate these midfielders, they're your core operators in the opposing team. Because if you can do that, if you can beat your opponent in the mental game, especially with a team as compact as One Taguig, you can force them to make mistakes that they won't normally make. And like you said earlier, if One Taguig makes small mistakes, even the simplest of mistakes, Stallion Laguna will pounce on that and make them regret it.
It was a mistake that brought the opening goal for One Taguig FC in their match in the first round. They're hoping not to make those kind of mistakes again here in the second round fixture, as they have themselves a throw in. Macmillan will look to find the nearest player in front of him, which is Placito. But they're trying to move forward now. Galeana was the option. Brings it down. Couldn't get past Stephen Hom. Milos Kupic, no-nonsense clearance from the goalkeeper there as they await for another throw in. Players down on the ground for One Taguig FC. It's Isaac Aguiemang. He's feeling something in his legs and might need some treatment from their physios.
This is not a pretty sight to see for the One Taguig coaching staff. They're already coming into this game with a pretty thin squad. Not that they're lacking quality on the bench, but they're lacking quantity on the bench. If you have to take a guy like Isaac Aguiemang off, you could replace him with a Marcus Haber or a Kurt Dizon, or maybe even an Ichiro Aoki if you're planning to convert him into a forward winger. But your usual substitutes like Stefan Schrock, Oli Bias, Mark Custodio, Frank Akoto, not available for tonight's game. So One Taguig, they're going to need to be careful. Yes, they want to play physical, but not too physical to the point where you're going to have to wheel one of your guys off and perhaps play a substitute player out of position.
One Taguig FC are trying to be careful in this match against a very physical Stallion Laguna FC. They know the squad for Coach Arvin J. Suleiman is quite thin. if you look into the starting list out here, Ed, the substitutes for Coach Ernie Nieras is stacked compared to One Taguig FC. They have a full squad there. You could even create another starting 11 with that substitute or that bench players that they have for Stallion Laguna FC. Meanwhile, for One Taguig FC, you have plenty of names out there that you could pick out, but it's going to be important that you use those pieces in the most important part of the game. We have a throw in here for Stallion Laguna FC. Macmillan looking for that long throw. Flag is up. I think it was offside. Rather a foul throw given against Stallion Laguna FC.
Just going back to the substitute list that you mentioned there earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, for you folks at home, just to give you context, Stallion Laguna has 12 registered players on the bench. Meanwhile, One Taguig has 8. A full 4 players less. So like we said earlier, they're gonna need to be careful. They're gonna need to be smart about these rotations. Because One Taguig, they still have a championship round to go. And they still have one more game in the second round to complete. So all hands on deck moving forward. They do not want to lose another man here tonight.
That's a very important game nonetheless against the second place team in the league. You have Manila Digger FC in your final match in the second round of your Philippines Football League. So they really have to manage their staff real well here as Stallion Laguna with A. Placito trying to head it forward for Galeana Trujillo. Forasuelo was able to keep it away from Finn McDaniel, but Placito's pass not connecting with Finn McDaniel. Now Hiraishi brings it down to Sato, the team captain. A chance for One Taguig FC to enjoy a bit of possession on their side.
A wasted possession there by Stallion Laguna. Abe Placito, he wanted to give it to the man in his direct line of sight, which was Finn McDaniel, who was hounded by guys like Stephen Hom and Pete Forasuelo. He did not see that Koichi Belgira was wide open on his left wing. If he was able to fire it to Belgira, they could have made use of a better chance there.
Now a chance opening up for One Taguig FC. Patrick Reichelt unable to head it towards Sato. Now counterattack for Trujillo and Stallion Laguna FC, freeing up the right side of the field. Trujillo with a pass. Unable to connect with Finn McDaniel, but Koichi Belgira will keep it in play for the boys in black and pink.
But that was better. That was so much better for Stallion. If they can get an opportunity like that, Finn McDaniel is not going to put it away a second time.
Belgira calming things down for Stallion Laguna FC. Isagaku. Now to Macmillan. They're finding those gaps now. They're trying to free up the league's top goal scorer in Finn McDaniel. But he's going to be hounded by a couple of players there in Pete Forasuelo and Stephen Hom, who has been a monster in defense for One Taguig FC. Goldison keeping the ball in play for One Taguig and wins a foul as well.
But how about this play on the replay? Take a look at Juan Trujillo just spinning Stephen Hom, sent him to the cleaners. Fantastic ball to Finn McDaniel, but the captain couldn't get there in time for the toe poke. But that was such a beautiful chance by Stallion. They will want to make that same play again. But of course, credits to the individual talents of Juan Trujillo Galeana, able to beat his man, who is not an easy defender to beat in Stephen Hom.
Just a step late for the league's top goal scorer. Foul committed by One Taguig FC, and a free kick in play now for Stallion Laguna. Isagaku threading the needle, and Casimiro. He's had too many fouls now, too many warnings from Mick John Pineda, and the card's going to come out. First yellow card of the game going to Goldison Casimiro. Is that his final warning after or in the play earlier? Now he gets his yellow card.
Take a look at the replay here. Clear foul there by Goldison. Just clipped Gaku, who was trying to make a run. He did get a warning earlier, hence the yellow was pretty warranted. He's going to need to be careful now. Stallion already building such good momentum. You do not want to put that to waste by having one of your guys sent off.
That's the confirmation of the yellow card for Casimiro. Now Stallion Laguna FC played it short on the free kick. Still trying to play the long game with possession. Pride to the right side for Galeana against Sato. Macmillan keeps it in possession for Stallion Laguna FC. Turning from Agiemang. Isagaku looks up. Stephen Hom heads it away. But Frusuelo cleaning up the mess. And now Aldeguer on the right side, taking on Belgira. Frusuelo sends it forward. Reichelt against Smith. Again, Smith towering over Reichelt over there. Now Usman Baji moving up front for Stallion Laguna FC. Placito to Belgira on the left side. Belgira thought about the cross. Baji hits the defender. It's going to be a corner for Stallion Laguna.
It's active awareness by the Taguig defenders. Shout out to Pete Frusuelo for being active on the second chance cleanup there. Stephen Hom didn't get a very good header in terms of cleaning the ball or clearing the ball in one of their defensive possessions earlier, but good on Pete Frusuelo to always stay active, to support his center back, his fellow center back, and to just ensure to keep Stallion Laguna out 22 minutes into the game. But of course, here comes a corner by Juan Trujillo Galeana.
Going far post, Baji unable to connect, but the foul is committed inside the box. So Milos Kupic and Taguig FC wins a free kick themselves. Bit wasteful after getting the foul. And Taguig FC given a chance to make something out of this possession. Sato brought down by Placito. Foul called on number 32. A lot of storylines to talk about in this game. You have Stephen Hom going up against his former employers. You have Placito, who's used to be in defense, but moving up in attack for them. You have a foul called as well on the left side of the field. It was Isagaku who's down. And things are getting a bit physical now with 23 minutes into this match.
Reichelt and Aldeguer have some choice words to say for the referee. Felt like it wasn't a foul, but Isagaku clearly in a lot of pain just a few moments ago.
So free kick taken, Ken Pride will start the play for the boys in black and pink. Isagaku, touch too heavy, and Mark Hartman gets it for Taguig. Couldn't get that long ball forward. Usman Baji thought about it with Isagaku. 1-2 passing, clicking and working for Stallion Laguna. Usman Baji moving up front. Covered by 3 players in white. Takes it back to Isagaku. Now Koichi Belgira on the left side. Good defense as well by Taguig, not allowing Koichi Belgira to find that cross, as you could feel that Finn McDaniel's going to be activated any moment now. Vasquez taken away by Hiraishi. Long ball forward, and Smith will gather for Stallion Laguna FC. Patrick Reichelt was not ready for the pass. Coach Neil barking instructions on the sideline for Stallion Laguna FC. 24 minutes and mistake for Isagaku. Patrick Reichelt on the turn against Smith, waiting for his teammates. Good pass to Goldison. Gets it over Pride, and Smith was there to cover. Macmillan, can he clean this up? No, he won't. But a touch from Hiraishi means a throw in and safety for now for Stallion Laguna FC.
Terrence Smith is having himself a massive game here for Stallion Laguna. He's been key in preventing so many Taguig attacks so far. Always in the right place at the right time to cut out any second chance attacks, or to cut out any possible passes over the Stallion defense. So active, and what an asset he's been tonight. Take a look at the replay here. Goldison had a great idea, nearly got it over Vasquez, but then again, that man, Terrence Smith, is the defender to beat if you are Taguig. Find a way to get past this mountain of a man, and of course, you still have Usman Baji as his center back partner. And as a result, in 25 minutes of this game, Stallion still have been the aggressor of both teams.
As Patrick Reichel gets some treatment on the field, we could feel that there's a substitution coming up for One Taguig. We just have to confirm, yes, it is going to be for One Taguig FC. Marcus Haber shaping up on the touchline. It feels that he's going to replace Patrick Reichelt, who's hurt right now.
If you remember, Patrick Reichelt, he was on the starting list just before the game versus Aguilas Yumac, but he had to be pulled off because he suffered some sort of foot injury during warm-ups. Perhaps he's still feeling the side effects of that knock, and as a result, like I said earlier, you can't take chances with such a tall task to be completed for the rest of the season. And with the squad already as depleted as it is, you're going to want to take care of your core players like Patrick Reichelt. If he's not feeling well, take him off. Put another capable player on, and that capable player is Marcus Haber, who is now checking in. Patrick Reichelt is now off the field. His night is done. Not the way he would have wanted to end it, but Marcus Haber is still a very, very capable player for One Taguig.
If there's a player that would replace Patrick Reichelt up front, it's going to be that man, Marcus Haber, former Canadian national team player. And he's come on with plenty of time in this game to make some impact, as a Placito trying to head it away from a player in white, but unable to do so. Foul committed by Placito. Free kick in favor of One Taguig FC. We've seen One Taguig FC try to play the long ball for Patrick Reichelt earlier. It wasn't working well for them, but given the height of Marcus Haber, do you think things will change now that he's been introduced in this game?
It's a case of fighting physicality with physicality of your own. You're already coming up against a tall defense in Usman Baji, Terrence Smith, Ken Pride, Isak Gaku, who's playing as a 6 tonight. If you can get one of those taller strikers of yours into a proper position, you can win some headers, start winning the 50-50 battles on the final third. It will open up a lot of possibilities here for you that One Taguig just haven't been able to unlock so far. But maybe with Haber, they could start exploring these options and start taking the fight more to Stallion Laguna.
Given his size as well, he could shape up against Terrence Smith, who's been pestering them in defense, not allowing them to get clear-cut chances on goal since he's the man at the back. Long ball forward coming from Smith, finding Baji on the left side, being pressured on by Furusuelo. Couldn't keep it in play. Referee says it's a corner for Stallion Laguna FC.
And here's a smart adjustment by Coach Ernie Nieras, putting Usman Baji at left back. Now, typically, he's played center back for a majority of this season with Stallion Laguna, but if you play him on the left back wing and give him the keys to operate further up the field, he can use his lanky long legs and pace to harass and trouble the opposing right back of One Taguig. So far, they haven't been able to contain him much. But if you give him those chances, he will absolutely link up with the rest of his team and convert on those chances that they've had so far.
Finn McDaniel unable to find some chances inside the box. Now he opts to play the long ball, but it's been taken away. Isaac Agemang on the counterattack. Macmillan with a touch and clears it away. Galeana ready for it. Milos Kupic was much steadier and ready for that ball, just skying that away from any player in black and pink. Sato playing the smart game here. Not as smart as losing possession. Pete Furusuelo. Galeana trying to keep that in play, but it's out for a goal kick. Nervy moments at the back there for One Taguig.
Those are exactly the mistakes that you're looking to pounce on. Good on Finn McDaniel and Juan Trujillo to jump on that. Take a look at the opportunity they had here. Comes off an incomplete corner. One Taguig had such a dangerous chance here, but Nico Macmillan, way to cut out the final pass to Andres Aldeguer. They know he's going to run. Milos Kupic had a great idea, trying to boot the ball out way out of his box, but it wasn't clean. And like you said, it ended up as a nervy moment for One Taguig.
Terrence Smith heading it down. High boot called on Isaac Gemang. He knew it was a high boot, so at least just a telling off from John Pineda.
Those are incredibly dangerous. We already had a couple of high boot incidents earlier in the season. You need to be careful with incidents like that, Agyemang is lucky that he only got off with a warning there.
Ken Pride restarting the play for Stallion Laguna FC. 30 minutes into this match, and we're still at a standstill, a stalemate between these two sides in 30 minutes in. If you're Manila Digger FC, you want to see this kind of game from one Taguig. They are breathing down their necks. They have them in their final game of the second round, a chance to at least get that edge heading into the championship round. Then with one Taguig FC, Patrick Reichelt is not in this game anymore. So a lot of things coming into play for the second place team in the league. Quich Belgira right now for Stallion Laguna, hoping to spoil it for the league leader, Stephen Hom. Poor clearance. Finn McDaniel with a strike. What a save there from Milos Kupic. That was the first real threat coming to the side of the goalkeeper of one Taguig FC, and he passed that test with flying colors.
Well, you could call it the birthday buff with what's going on to Milos Kupic. And that's such a tricky part about beating this one Taguig team. Look at this chance by Finn McDaniel. Struck it beautifully. It was a rocket heading into the goal. But Milos Kupic, he is still the mountain of a man to beat. And that's what makes it so tricky. Because if you find a way to get past one Taguig's defense, you still need to find a way to beat that guy. Milos Kupic, who has only conceded 5 goals this season. Such a tricky puzzle to unlock.
Isaac Agyemang battling for possession against Ken Pride and brought down Isagaku in the process. So that's going to be a foul called on one Taguig FC. But going back to the point that you have there for Milos Kupic, 5 goals conceded so far in the tournament. Most of those goals coming in from the top 6 teams in the league. So it goes to show the level of play that the Milos Kupic is putting in the Philippines Football League. And it's quite difficult to get past Milos Kupic, not only because he's quite flexible and quite jumpy or alert in those chances, but he plays quite a high line, cutting the angles for the strikers or the forwards of the opponents. Now Vasquez goes down. Denzel Vasquez taken down for a free kick. And still, you could feel that Stallion Laguna being more of the aggressor in this game, having much of the possession and the chances themselves, not allowing one Taguig FC to compose themselves and find those counter-attacking opportunities. As A. Placito moving forward now for Stallion Laguna, trying to find Usman Baji on the left side, brings it back to Placito, looking for that long ball but opts for Vasquez instead. On the turn, Hiraishi with the pressure, Macmillan to the middle for Placito. Couldn't turn, but brings it back to Denzel. Placito. Still with Placito. Pass to the middle for Denzel Vasquez. Isagaku with a strike. Blocked. Goes back to the side of Stallion Laguna. Trujillo now on the right side, looking to exploit the side of Sato, but sturdy defense there from the team captain.
One of the best defenders the Philippines has ever seen for a reason, effortlessly shutting down a creative Juan Trujillo Galeana.
Chance once again for Stallion. Macmillan's pass has been telegraphed, and it's going to be a throw-in for Stallion Laguna FC. We spent most of the time with the ball on the half of one Taguig FC.
Now, one Taguig, you already knew they had a fantastic defense. And that's exactly what they're showing here tonight. But what's concerning me about this team is that they really haven't had the chances that they need to make a difference, to play in Stallion's own half. And Stallion have just been able to do that by playing cleaner, by playing tighter football, learning from the mistakes that they committed in that first round matchup. Nico Macmillan brought down earlier in a non-field incident. Here's the replay. Trying to get past Daisuke Sato again, but just got body checked and floored. Free kick awarded to Stallion Laguna.
An opportunity once again for Coach Ernie Nieres' side. He's gone past 30 minutes now of not having an outbreak on the touchline. So that's a good sign for Stallion Laguna FC. Not saying that it's always the case for Coach Ernie, but if you're going up against the league leaders, you have to make sure that every personnel on your side is intact, especially your coaching staff with Coach Ernie Nieras, who's barking the orders from the touchline. He's been that figure in Stallion Laguna FC, and he's been doing it for a very long time now. A lot of changes in their first round encounter. They have an opportunity here for a free kick. Trujillo scaling the defense and looking for that pass. Goes far post for Placito. Headed in. Terrence Smith. Usman Baji. That's cleared out by Hardman, only as far as Agyemang and Macmillan. Now Isagaku wins it. Usman Baji still with the ball is Baji on the right side. Goes down. Hiraishi says no. And Sato looking to clear that ball out. Finds Hiraishi. Chance for a counterattack for the boys in white and blue. Agyemang on the turn. But good tackle there from Ken Pride. Looking for a foul. Agyemang is down. And the coaching staff of Taguig FC is quite livid on that challenge.
Taguig are beside themselves. They could not believe that there was a no call on that occasion. Isak Agyemang had a clever idea to beat both defenders, but he got taken down on that occasion. Daisuke Sato is furious. He could not believe what he just witnessed. Let's take a look at the replay, find out what happened. Isak Agyemang clearly brought down by Ken Pride. Could make the case that he made contact with the ball first. Not too sure, but regardless of the result, Taguig still furious. Some of the coaching staff had to be held back. Patrick Reichelt, who's already on the bench, has to be held back. Flares are heating up as we're entering the second half. It is getting spicy out here tonight, folks.
This is the kind of a match that we expect here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium on a Saturday night, having two sides of the championship round, both sides of the top six. And this is something that we really expect. A spicy encounter, a physical encounter between two sides. A little bit of stoppage as well from Mick John Pineda, who is trying to clarify or just check the ball as well. I think they're giving the free kick now on the contact on Agyemang. Or rather, it was just a drop ball.
Oh no, it appears to be a free kick for Taguig. A lot of things can happen in the Philippines Football League, ladies and gentlemen. That is just one of the many things that can happen in a 5-minute span. Truly, you don't know what to expect next.
If you think that we can see whatever's happening on the field, check that again. Sometimes, even our fans, kayong mga nanonood, you could even see it clearer than us. Right over here. A foul is called on the side of Stallion Laguna FC as Daisuke Sato goes down. Having a quick word as well with Abe Placito. A free kick to boot for the league leaders. 7 minutes remaining in the first half when we're still at a 0-0 encounter. Mark Hartman sends a ball forward for Isaac Agyemang. Goldison gathers for Taguig. Good coverage by Nico Macmillan. Now on the counter, Trujillo sends it forward for Placito. Thought about it. Gives it back to Galeana. Long ball forward now for Finn McDaniel. Good first touch, but Pete Forasuelo is equal to the possibility and gets it away. Long ball forward once again, and Aldeguer off to the races against Smith. Aldeguer still with the ball, couldn't turn and find Haber. Aldeguer keeping the ball intact for Taguig, and the fans of Taguig FC could feel something is up. Marcus Haber chests it down, gives it to Aldeguer. Couldn't take a strike as Isagaku is there to cover. They still have an opportunity with this possession here, Ed.
Terrence Smith, yet again, unbeatable for Stallion Laguna. Andres Aldeguer, he had the perfect chance there, but struggled to play with his back against the goal, against the towering Terrence Smith. A beautiful pass earlier as well by Goldison, who found Marcus Haber, but was still being hounded by Usman Baji. So imagine that, Taguig finally getting the chances that they're looking for, but still not able to beat the duo, or the left-handed duo, the left-sided duo of Terrence Smith and Usman Baji.
Things are clicking well for Stallion Laguna in defense as they are covering that side of Taguig FC. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Stallion Laguna have done their best to keep the league leaders scoreless and shaking in their boots, as they have an opportunity as well if they can move forward with Yusuf Butt and Ken Pride at the back. Galeana makes the move. Macmillan stays and finds the pass. To the middle they go for Vasquez. Long ball to the left side for Usman Baji. Slowly moving up. Koichi Belgira with a 1-2 with Baji. Short cross. Milos Kupic a bit off balance. Last touch on one Taguig. It's going to be a corner for Stallion Laguna.
That was a smart play from Stallion Laguna, using Usman Baji to play a 1-2 with Koichi Belgira. Find an acre of space for Baji to explode on. Unfortunately, they just couldn't find the final man in the box to finish off that play. But if they keep pulling that off, they could walk away with a guaranteed goal here tonight. As here comes Stallion Laguna again, another opportunity with a corner from Juan Galeana Trujillo.
It's the corner looking for that pass to the middle. Scramble. Usman Baji and Vasquez skies it. He's shaped up for that volleyed strike, but just unable to connect cleanly as it goes out for a goal kick. Mick John Pineda just having a bit of a word with Usman Baji. He's not having none of it tonight, Mick John Pineda. He's been a sturdy man with the whistle in the middle of the park. He's known for that in the Philippines Football League. And with a clash between the number 1 and the number 6, he's going to enforce his will into this one.
Mick John Pineda, tonight at least, is not the most popular man on that field. That is for sure. He is known to make hard decisions. Most of the time, not everybody agrees with, but it keeps the game going.
Goldison, freed up on the left side. Looks like a foul committed by Stallion Laguna FC away from the Goldison header.
This is the perfect time for one Taguig to come alive as well. We only have 2 minutes and some change until the second half starts in. If there's any chance for them to take control of this momentum and undo the progress Stallion has made so far, it would be to grab a goal just before we turn into the second half. That way you can force Stallion Laguna to rethink their strategy, force them to come up with something new heading into the second half, and hope that it's not as effective as what they've deployed in this first half.
Yusuf Butt was ready for that free kick and plucks it out of the thin air. So different script, but same opponents here for one Taguig FC. If they could get a goal before halftime, it could do them real well heading into the second half, just like what happened in the first round fixture when they got that advantage before halftime through Andres Aldeguer. Goldison, players down on the field, and if one Taguig FC was livid on the contact with the Agyemang earlier, this time it's on the contact with Vasquez.
Vasquez still on the ground. Appears to have taken a serious hit off, I believe, Goldison, who made contact. We're gonna confirm that in a second when we get the replay. Here it is. Mark Hartman on, yes, Denzel Vasquez. Perhaps clipped his leg a little too hard on that challenge. It was still a clean challenge, but it's still going to hurt. If you play football, ankle-on-ankle contact is never pretty.
Yep, that's the reason why I'm not playing anymore, Ed. An ankle-to-ankle in an amateur game, clipped it, ankle sprain, and that's the end of it. Not for these pros, though, as they get us going with just 30 seconds remaining in the first half and some stoppage. Sato couldn't get it across. Galeana wins it for Stallion Laguna FC on the counterattack. Through ball looking for Finn McDaniel, off to the races against Furusuelo, who will keep it out and get that touch as well on McDaniel for a throw.
Pete Furusuelo, he's not the most physical defender out there, but he is smart. Displayed some of his street smarts on that play there, knowing a Finn McDaniel was still closing in on that ball. What do? Tap the ball to him, get it out on him, regain control of the ball. We do have 3 minutes of added time. Maybe now is the time for one Taguig to remind us who they are and impose their will in the game. It might be now. Naoto Hiraishi winning the ball back.
Smith on the contact But the foul is called not on the contact up front with Smith, but rather at the back with Hiraishi.
But you could just see how they just turned it on in a split second like that. They want to do more of that. They haven't been able to do that this entire first half. A far cry from the performance, the first half performance they put out against Aguilas UMAC, not having many counter-attacking opportunities because of how well Stallion have played tonight. But if they can get more of these chances, they will put them away because they don't need wave after wave of attacks to do damage. They just need one clear shot and they will capitalize.
You know, these teams in the Philippines Football League hears us, Ed. And whenever they hear us, they do answer with their actions on the field, as Hartman sends a long ball forward for Haber but unable to find a teammate inside the box. I've experienced it plenty of time in the commentary, Ed. Whenever we call out a team, we ask them to show them who they really are. They do. We're just waiting for one Taguig FC to show up in the final couple of minutes in the first half if they can, because the first round, that was the case with Aldeguer scoring in the second minute of stoppage time in the first half. But on the other side, Galeana, Stephen Hom was there to cover. Agiemang against Isagaku. Agiemang keeps the ball in play for the white shirts, hounded by three players, and a foul called against Stallion Laguna FC.
1 minute, less than a minute remaining in the stoppage time of the first half. But I could totally agree with you there, Jamer. The commentators have the power to play a 50-50 card. It's either going to be a commentator's curse or it's either going to be a commentator's buff. Either way, a result will definitely go ahead and come in.
Aldeguer on the right side, receiving that free kick from Mark Hartman, hounded by Usman Baji. Now they move forward again with Hiraishi, but a touch from Placito to keep it out for a corner and possibly the last play of the first half.
It's going to be Mark Hartman coming up to take the corner again. He is their designated right side corner taker, one of the most prolific playmakers in the Philippines Football League this season, who also spent some time with Stallion Laguna last season.
Here's the corner from Hartman, headed out by Placito. Stephen Hom brings it down for Hartman. One last chance on attack for the league leaders, headed out by Placito. Stephen Hom with a shot, and Yusuf Butt holding on to the ball and sends us to halftime at a scoreless first half. Plenty of action. Stallion Laguna have plenty of chances on attack. One Taguig FC on the counter attack, but so far so good for both sides. Ed, your comments on the first half?
Well, it's a clash of tactics. Both sides have been able to cancel each other out. One Taguig with their stubborn defense. We know that heading into this game, the best defense in the league. But Stallion Laguna still playing tightly, playing properly, nullifying any counter-attacking threats from One Taguig. So it's really a game of fine margins. We'll see who takes what advantage heading into the second half.
45 minutes done. We head into the locker rooms, and when we come back, halftime stats, analysis, and highlights for the match between Stallion Laguna FC and One Taguig FC of your Philippines Football League 2025-26. Halftime here at the Rizal Memorial Football Stadium, and it's a stalemate so far between the number 1 and the number 6 team in the Philippines Football League 2025-26 season. Stallion Laguna FC having much of the chances in the first half, but at the same time holding off the league leaders into a 0-0 stalemate. And it's been an eventful first half. We've had plenty of highlights to talk about and plenty of chances on both sides to discuss.
What we have here is a fascinating tactical battle. The best defense in the league coming up against the 5th best offense in the league. Now, Stallion Laguna, we've seen this entire first half, had a clear-cut game plan. They know when to gig, love to attack you on the counter. So what do? You play cleaner, you play tighter. You don't make mistakes, the same mistakes that you made in the first round matchup, which cost you that game. So if you're able to mitigate your mistakes, you're not going to let one to gig into this match. And look at that, this replay right here. Defensive effort by Nico McMillan. They know they're going to fire a final pass into a running man up front. You cut those passing lanes out, and you're going to shut down this one to gig offense that has been so lethal this season. While as for one to gig, your defense has been stellar. Yes, Stallion Laguna have seen more of the ball, but they haven't really done much with it. So it's a fascinating match where both sides cancels the other one out. So it's only going to come down to a game of fine margins, and it doesn't get much finer than this. The possession game, nearly even, 52% going to Stallion. They've had more of the ball, but they've had less shots on target. And one to gig, they've had 3 shots, 3 on target. That's efficiency right there. Yes, you've had less of the ball, but you've had more quality with it. And that's, in fine margins like this, it could go down to statistics like this.
Well, if we're talking about statistics right now, Ed, you have 3 shots on goal, 3 shots on target for one Taguig FC. Yes, they've had lesser time with the ball, but they've had plenty of opportunities up front, in front as well of Yusuf, but just unable to convert. But what's working so well for Stallion Laguna FC right now is that not only they're doing well in defense, they're fighting fire with fire. You know, one Taguig FC loves to go on the counterattack, just like what you've mentioned earlier. But if Stallion Laguna FC is more of the aggressor in this game, the more they go on attack, the less chances one Taguig FC gets in the game. Turns out it's the kind of game that Coach Ernie Nieras wants to play against the league leaders. It's making it difficult for one Taguig FC because they have to second guess themselves. Do we have to stay in defense because Stallion Laguna is peppering us with attempts? Or do we have to go on a counterattack because they have so much body up front that they're freeing up the spaces at the back? But so far, it hasn't been exploited yet by one Taguig FC. And just like what we always say, in a game of football, it's always a game of 2 halves. We have a tightly contested battle in the first 45 minutes. What is stopping us in having the same here in the second half? We have plenty of things to talk about, but nothing to discuss in terms of the substitutes, as the players who started the game, aside from Patrick Reichel for one Taguig FC, are the same personnel back on the pitch for the remainder of the game. So the question is, can one Taguig FC get that marginal goal and keep their lead intact at the top of the standings heading in to that final game in the second round against the second place team in Manila Digger FC? Or will Stallion Laguna FC play as a spoilers for the league leaders for the next 45 minutes? Finn McDaniel is shaping up to start us off in the second half. He hasn't had much of the chance up front yet. He's trying to play off the ball and be the provider for them. But with Galeana really threatening from the wings, it could really be a different game heading into the second half, as we have kickoff for Stallion Laguna out here playing from right to left, and right away one Taguig FC winning the ball and going on the counterattack with Isaac Agiema. Fast-paced counterattack here. Haber couldn't get a teammate in the middle. Isagaku battling for the ball and clearing it out of danger. And this is what one Taguig FC is known for. They are going out of the gates right away, Ed.
Take a look at that replay here. This is exactly what we've been waiting for. Heavy metal offense, courtesy of one Taguig. It could have had a fantastic chance. A shot! That was so wide. That was so near. Yusuf Butt could do nothing but watch. Luckily for him, that ball went wide. What a shot by Naoto Hiraishi, completely catching us off guard. But I was just about to say, one to gig, right off from kickoff, as if they knew where Finn McDaniel was going to pass. Pounced on it. Here comes the replay. Yusuf Butt with a punch. Finds Naoto Hiraishi. Oh, sorry, Daisuke Sato, who takes it first time. So nearly there.
And Stallion Laguna FC will have some time to breathe after that suffocating first salvo of attack from One Taguig. But on the other side, Finn McDaniel looking for the cross, but he was offside on the play. We'll have to check as well how he got offside. But nonetheless, a free kick for One Taguig to make use, and they do it quick with Isaac Agyemang against Isagaku. Now they win the ball, Stallion Laguna. Placito thought about it as Hiraishi is there to cover. Foul committed by One Taguig FC.
But how about that from Stallion? From the very moment you kick the ball off, two shots, one of them on target, one of them nearly on target, but two attacking opportunities by your opponent. The second you just kick the ball off, not allowing you to breathe whatsoever. That could have been disastrous for them.
Usman Baji right now trying to play some time with the ball for Stallion Laguna. This is what they do best. Whenever they have possession, they keep One Taguig FC guessing. Yusuf Butt to the right side for Ken Pride, who sends a long ball forward looking for Galeana, but unable to get a touch to it. Finn McDaniel cleans it up. Finn McDaniel takes a strike from distance. He's lethal, but not on target that time against Milos Kupic.
Finn McDaniel, so far this entire game, has only had one shot on target. He's going to want to build on that, prove that he is one of the most lethal strikers in the league this season, especially against the top 6 teams.
Finn McDaniel already being challenged by Paus Mangay, who scored a goal in the game against Cebu. A foul called by, or committed by Usman Baji. Referee Mick John Pineda just trying to calm things down. Hands on the pocket. Not anymore. Just a warning, I believe, for... Oh, yellow card given to Usman Baji there.
You can't take those incidents seriously, especially if it concerns a particular head injury. There's the contact. It appears that Aldris Aldeguer felt that at the back of his head. But again, you can't take those lightly. Head injuries in football are a very, very serious matter. If you see them happen, you got to slow the game down, check if that player is okay. It's a good thing that's exactly what Mick John Pineda did here. And let's just hope it doesn't, no incidents like that happen again. And here comes an opportunity for One Taguig. Cut out by Usman Baji. Always so present, Baji, in the defense. Still unbeatable by One Taguig.
But if you're One Taguig, this is the kind of play that you want to do now. Being on the offensive a bit more compared to the first half. And they're doing well in the first 4 minutes of this game as they have themselves a corner. Newsflash, by the way, Ed Paus Mangay already gets the lead at the top goal scoring list with 23 goals. 2 goals in that game against Cebu. Chance cleared away by Stallion Laguna FC. Hartman keeps it in play. Long ball forward. Looking for either Haber or Stephen Sato against Macmillan. Sato with a cross. Aldeguer couldn't connect cleanly. Agyemang with a strike. There is a deflection from Usman Baji and another corner for One Taguig.
And already One Taguig turning up the heat, bringing in that offense they're so well known for this season, suffocating the Stallion Laguna defense, not giving them a chance to reset or recharge. Maybe that's the key forward in regaining control of this game. They didn't really get to do that this first half, but it's a good change in game plan into the second half. That's exactly where the coaches make their money. How do you set your team up to take control of a game that you didn't really put much effort in the first half?
Well, that's what Stallion Laguna has been doing in the first half. Suffocate them with attack, and that's what they're doing now. One Taguig, Stephen looking for the cross inside. Cleared out by Ken Pride. Sato trying to win the ball for One Taguig. Mahmoud Ali sends it out for Isaac Agemang to make use of. Sends it forward for Goldison on the left side. Looking for the clearance. Goes down. Play continues as referee Mick John Pineda waves them off. And Koichi Belgira freed up on the left side for Stallion Laguna. Galiana looking for that ball from Belgira. Gets it again. Long ball. A shot. Hits the crossbar. Mahmoud Ali heading it out. Koichi Belgira once again to Placito. To the left side for Finn McDaniel. Finn McDaniel with the cross, and Milos Kupic finally puts a stop to the crazy sequence, but frees up Marcus Haber in the process up front. Foul called on Terrence Smith.
Talk about not letting the defense breathe. How about not letting the fans breathe? What a sequence that was. It started from here. A possible penalty call waved off by Mick John Pineda. You can see Terrence Smith taking down Casemiro. No contact made with the ball. Questionable as to why there was no whistle there. But how about this answer by Trujillo? Could have been a goal, a fantastic goal there from distance, nearly catching Kupic off guard. Fortunately for the goalkeeper, it hits the crossbar, all in the span of 2 minutes.
End-to-end stuff between Stallion Laguna FC and One Taguig FC in this game as they have a free kick. Header in by Marcus Haber, and that is the goal. First blood for the league leaders as Marcus Haber makes the difference in the 52nd minute.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what One Taguig was looking for. A brilliant, smart set-piece play that caught the Stallion defense sleeping. Where was the defense? Mark Hartman completely played them with a long ball, a beautiful curving ball that found the towering head of Marcus Haber, who fires it back against Yusuf Butt to finally score the first goal of the game and break the deadlock. It's a game of fine margins here, Jamer. Take a look at the replay. Hartman, a beautiful set-piece play, catching the defense asleep. Haber practically unmarked by a smaller man. Take a look at the quad vision replay. Picture perfect header by Marcus Haber, who has finally scored another goal in the Philippines Football League. And what a time to do so in a pivotal game such as this.
It took some time, Ed, but you've asked One Taguig FC to show who they really are, and just like that, Marcus Haber on the 52nd minute of the match, just doing what you've asked them to do, and it's 1-0 in favor of One Taguig FC.
But of course, let's give credit to the man who made that play, Mark Hartman. A beautiful high IQ pass that bypassed the entire Stallion team, connecting it with a fantastic finisher in Marcus Haber, a 1-2 punch by One Taguig.
Those kind of passes from that free kick are really difficult to judge, especially if the cross is bouncing inside the box and you actually see Macmillan marking Marcus Haber. The height difference is there, and Haber just making good use of that height advantage, giving themselves that 1-0 margin. And it's an open game now for One Taguig FC in terms of keeping that lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Stallion Laguna FC with Koichi Belgira trying to find that answer. They're forced to take it back to Terrence Smith. That's the first time that he's been breached because of that mismatch, and a counter-attack now for One Taguig FC with Andres Aldeguer on the right side. Looking for the pass across for Haber. Hiraishi try to bring it down for Goldison, but now Trujillo has been freed up front. Placito couldn't find the pass for McDaniel, so he opts for Usman Baji on the left side. Mahmoud Ali and Hartman is there to cover. Finn McDaniel brings it down for Placito, who thought about the shot, finds Trujillo on the right side with a shot across the face of goal and fizzing out wide off the left post.
End-to-end action here, 200 miles an hour. This is Philippines Football League action. Take a look at this replay here. A fine chance from Juan Trujillo, just puts it wide. So nearly there. It could have beaten Milos Kupic. But that goal by One Taguig really waking up the Stallions, reminding them that this is their chance to gain additional points before they head off into the championship round. These points could be vital because it could allow them to catch up to the team above them and get away from the team below them. Right now, those 3 points are going to one Taguig, who have taken one step further away from Manila Digger in second.
A lot to play for in the Philippines Football League in the championship round. Aldeguer goes down as Isaac Agemang trying to move forward against Terrence Smith. But Smith gets it away from the number 71, Ken Pride, to the middle. Miscommunication happening for the side of Stallion Laguna, but at least steady dribbling from Abe Placito. Trying to free up Quichi Belgira on the left side, but Pete Forasuelo is just too fast for Quichi Belgira to catch on, and he's been called for a foul.
If you create a defender with pace and situational awareness, you have Pete Forasuelo. Way to act on that. He knows Quichi Belgira was left on mark. The first one to react to that ball by the one Taguig defender, potentially saving his team from a dangerous opportunity from a very game Stallion side.
Milos Kupic sending a ball forward. Pete Forasuelo has been that guy in defense that tries to pocket his opponents. He's been doing that against all of the other top 6 teams. We've seen him do it against Cebu. We've seen him do it against the defending champions, Kai FC Iloilo. And he's doing it again here against Stallion Laguna FC. Aldeguer tried to head it forward for Haber but unable to do so. Finn McDaniel on the turn. Forasuelo gets the ball away. And Mahmoud Ali sends it back for Milos Kupic to reset.
And you can feel it, don't you, Jamer? Everybody's having an extra pep in their step. Everybody's going to want it just a bit more. Here comes Haber again with another chance.
Right side for Haber. Aldeguer in the middle. Thought about the shot. Thinking about the pass as well. We'll have to reset as Usman Baji gets the ball away. And Stallion Laguna wins it in defense. Aldeguer still putting on the pressure and trying to get that away from Baji. Placito. Forasuelo with the pressure. Now sending it to the other side for Macmillan. 3 against 3, but a lot of players coming back in defense now for one Taguig. Placito thinking about the next move. Pass is telegraphed by Forasuelo, who has been all over that back line for one Taguig FC.
But how about Usman Baji shutting down Andres Aldeguer single-handedly, dancing the ball away from the winger, enforcing his will and physicality on that left back, making that space his own.
Placito couldn't thread the ball to the right side. Now one Taguig FC with a chance to clear it out. Unless Mahmoud Ali and Andres Aldeguer will miscommunicate, but not anymore as Milos Kupic clears it out. Haber against Smith. Haber wins it, brings it back for Hartman, who's looking for a pass forward. Opts to go for Hiraishi, intercepted by Macmillan. Counterattack for the boys in black and pink. Couldn't thread the needle towards McDaniel. Hartman once again. Haber's offside, so they're not going to push through with it.
You can see what Stallions are trying to do. Whenever they're trying to make a final play, they're looking to get it to their captain, Finn McDaniel, which is not a bad option, but they have better options down the wings. If they could find those, maybe they could have a better chance at putting the ball in the back of the net. In their latest attack, before this one, Juan Guiliano Trujillo was wide open. They made the choice to play it to Finn McDaniel, but then again, there was a better option elsewhere.
If only Stallion Laguna FC will think that Juan Galeana Trujillo is also a goal-scoring threat and not just a playmaker on the field. It could make so much difference on that sequence for them. But they have a corner to boot. You have Finn McDaniel waiting for that short pass. You have plenty of bodies inside the box. You have Placito, you have Isagaku and Usman Baji on the far post. Send it long towards the far post. Haber's there covering Usman Baji. Forward turn defender who scored the goal, helping out in defense. And Isaac Agemang on the counterattack, winning the ball. Goes down, and a foul is called on Stallion Laguna FC.
Nico McMillan, you have to praise his effort. He wants it just a bit more. cost him a foul on that occasion. He needs to be a little bit careful, but you have to admire his fire, his spirit to help will his team back into this game.
Not seeing much movement on both benches for Coach Ernie Nieras and Arvin Soliman, which means that the pieces of the puzzle are still working for both sides, but the difference being Marcus Haber in the 52nd. Milos Kupic sends a long ball forward, just clearing the lines. Goldison tried to head it towards the path of Haber, but nobody there as Macmillan gathers. One, two, and three are in the league standings, but we have two McDaniels down on the ground. He's back up. Just a bit of a knock taken by the team captain there of Stallion Laguna FC. He's back up. You can see Usman Baji as well having some talking to with Coach Neil. Just having a bit of a change of plans, if you may, as they are trailing this game by a goal to nil.
And again, Usman Baji, one of the key factors here for Stallion Laguna. On a lot of occasions, he's been responsible for bringing the ball up on the left-hand side. He's been given the keys to the offense to help carry the ball from the defensive end. And he's also done his job as a defender. He's been fantastic in shutting down the left flank or holding down the left flank for Stallion Laguna. Unfortunately, his team did concede the goal first. So you can look to guys like him to correcting mistakes like that and preventing any more goals from flying into the back of their own net.
Yusuf Butt sends a long ball forward looking for Galeana. Too much for the winger to make use of as Sato skies it for Goldison. Denzel trying to win the ball for Stallion Laguna. It bounces to the path of Ken Pride. Placito. Denzel looking for the pass, taken away by Hiraishi. 1-2 passing, clicking as well for Stallion. And Pride sends it forward only as far as Mahmoud Ali. Now, Mark Hartman. You see the body language of Mark Hartman. Whenever he gets the ball, he looks up and trying to send the ball forward right away, but unable to do so that time. Belgira. Now they get the ball. Belgira on the left side. An opportunity for Stallion Laguna FC to make use. Cross to Placito. Thought about the shot. Pass to McDaniel with a strike. Just sends it over the bar and out for a goal kick.
Finn McDaniel put his whole body in that shot. Skied it, unfortunately. But he hasn't had many chances this entire game. If he could get any one of these on target, he could put his team in a much better position to regain control of this game.
Coach Nieras scanning the bench, looking for the next best option. That second wind, if you may, from the bench of Coach Nieras. While one Taguig FC looking quite composed.
You just look at the options Coach Ernie has on his bench. You have one of the top goal scorers in Stallion Laguna, Kevin Ebeni Mogota off the bench. And you got Zamaranyo Hoatam, Magson Dorado, Patrick Ling, Amir Memari, Ricardo Sendra, Christian Ivanovsky. This team is stacked in the bench. He can't go wrong with any of those options.
Talking about those options now, Ed, you have Kevin Ebeni Mogota coming in for Juan Galeana Trujillo. You also have Patrick Ling checking into this match. So he's going to come on for Denzel Vasquez.
It looks like the end of the night for Galeana Trujillo and Denzel Vasquez. Both of them put in a solid shift. Not as good as they would have hoped, But they did try their best out there. Unfortunately, they ran into a very stubborn one-to-gig defense, looking to do better next game out. But these are very solid options they brought on, Kevin Abenimakuta and Patrick Ling.
Guzman Baji now trying to look for that cross, just unable to connect with Placito. Goldison winning the ball, and McMillan with a challenge. No foul given by Mick John Pineda, so the ball goes to the side of Stallion Laguna FC.
Again, not the most popular man on the field. For just a second there, one-to-gig coaching staff jumping out of their seats, Patrick Reichelt included. Felt that a lot of these calls haven't gone their way.
Abenimakuta with the first touches of the ball in this game after coming on. Unable to connect with Finn McDaniel as Pete Forasuelo clears the ball out. Placito threading it towards Finn McDaniel. Aldeguer helped out in defense as well. Isagaku getting the better of Marcus Haber. Haber has been called for a foul after shoving Isagaku to the ground.
It's been a physical battle in the midfield thanks to a one-man army in Isagaku, earning the ire of a lot of these one-to-gig players, the latest of them being Marcus Haber. Look at these elbows being thrown around. Marcus Haber eventually wrestling Isagaku to the ground, which earned the whistle of Mick John Pineda. Isagaku, another unpopular player there in the eyes of one-to-gig.
So much for feeding each other out between Isagaku and Marcus Haber that time, as a substitute is getting ready for one-to-gig FC. It looks like Kurt Deason's going to check in after this sequence. Finn McDaniel sends it out for a goal kick. And that should allow one-to-gig FC to make the change. And he's coming on for
Goldison Casemiro. Now Goldison, he's put in yet another incredible shift. He's been focal in a lot of these one-to-gig attacks, be it as a playmaker or as a shooting option. And take a look at the replacement that's coming on for him. A real option for pace and width. Kurt Dizon, a real veteran of the Philippines club football scene. And the fact that you have this guy riding your bench, talk about bench depth. You have to hand it to the scouting departments of both of these teams for signing such incredible quality players.
So like for like switch for Coach Arvin J. Sullivan here, with Goldison checking out for Kurt Deason. If you want size, you have Goldison. If you want pace and creativity, you have Kurt Deason coming on to this game. Isaac Agemang, long ball forward, looking for Aldeguer on the right side against Terrence Smith once again. Touches well for Aldeguer. Still against Smith. To the middle for Agyemang. Just a tad late. It's a goal kick for Stallion Laguna.
Andres Aldeguer really owning that winger role. Keep in mind, the past few seasons, he saw himself as primarily as a number 9. But this season, he's been deployed down the wings. And what an adjustment this young man has made. The creativity, the pace he has displayed, and the goal-scoring instincts from his time as a primary 9, all of use to him in his new role as a winger.
From a young boy from the Ascos development team back in the days to a full-grown man out here for one-to-gig FC. That's Andres Aldeguer for you, ladies and gentlemen, as Isaac Agemang goes down. Feeling a bit of a challenge from Smith. Or it might have been cramps as well for Agyemang.
He's holding his knee pretty bad. I'd assume it was from that missed goal attempt in the previous attacking sequence. He seems to have pulled something bad here. He looks to be in a lot of pain. One-to-gig may need to look at bringing on another substitute to replace Agyemang, because remember, they need all hands on board with the upcoming games, and with the squad as depleted as it already is, you cannot take chances when your best players go down. You need to be smart about rotating them and preserving them for the next round and the next set of games.
You've talked about the next set of games. That's going to be the last game of the season, I believe, for One Taguig FC, and none other than the only team who gave them that L in the first round, which is Manila Digger FC in their second round fixture. That's going to happen on Wednesday, the 29th of April. So you really have to have all hands on deck for that match. And Isaac Agemang having a bit of rest on the touchline as Mark Hartman shapes up for this corner. Towards the far post, nobody there, but Hiraishi will gather for One Taguig against Patrick Ling nonetheless. With the cross, Puichi Belgira heads it out. Usman Baji goes down, the play continues as Mark Hartman gets the ball again from the right side. What a pass for Mark Hartman, just unable to connect with a teammate. And now Placito sends a ball forward for Ebene Mokota on the right against Sato. And still, Ebene Mokota running down the wings. Past two players but couldn't get past Stephen Hum. A throw in to make use of for Stallion Laguna.
And Ebene Mokata, once he gains momentum down the wings, he is hard to stop. Not only is he fast, but he is also physically strong. He is built like a tank with the speed of a Ferrari. He is hard to stop.
Talk about Ebene Mokota being the... there's a Wolves player in mind that I forgot. You have to remind me of that one, Ed, later on.
When you say Wolves player, the only player that comes to mind is the GOAT, Naz Reid.
Stallion Laguna being forced to go back as the shape of One Taguig FC really put well. Usman Baji freed up on the left side now against Mahmoud Ali, who clears it out of danger. Now Kuichi Belgira with the ball for Stallion. Isagaku to Patrick Ling. Placito turns and gets a foul as well. A free kick at a dangerous spot for Stallion Laguna FC. And you would expect Finn McDaniel to take this as he's the free kick specialist of their team.
And considering that this is trademark Finn McDaniel range, he's already hit a goal from this time and time again in his career. Could this be another one of those moments where he steps up big for his club and becomes that driving factor in leading his team back into the game?
An all-important free kick for Finn McDaniel and Stallion Laguna FC to get us back on level terms here at the 73rd minute. You have a massive wall in front of you. You have Marcus Haber. You also have Agyemang on that wall. Mark Hartman.
Aldeguer too.
Aldeguer too. And Stephen Alm on that wall. So plenty of bodies to get that ball over before you have Milos Kupic in between the sticks.
And One Taguig knows Finn McDaniel is a right-footed goal scorer. He's going to want to try to curve that ball over the wall. A tough ask considering the height of the people in that wall. But if one man can do it, Finn McDaniel can. Let's see if he can deliver yet again for his team.
And McDaniel steps up and the wall is there. I think that hit Marcus Haber, making good use of his height and preventing that free kick. Foul committed by Isaac Agemang. That's too strong of a tackle. And the yellow card is already out for sure. And that is the confirmation of a yellow card from Mick John Pineda.
Now Patrick Agemang, Isaac Agemang, I mean, he does not agree with that call. But if we see the replay here, I mean, there's no discussion. It was all ankle on that occasion. Lucky to only get away with a yellow card. It could have been worse.
Mick John Pineda has been known to be very lenient at times and kind of an enforcer as well some other times in the Philippines Football League. This time, he only brandished the yellow card for Agyemang. And Placito will make use of this free kick for Stallion Laguna FC. Finds Usman Baji on the left side instead. Baji moving inside against two players. Baji couldn't get the cross in, but gets a touch from Hiraishi for a corner.
And Hiraishi, we saw this from him last week out against Aguilas Yumac. As good as he is helping out with the attack moving forward, he's also versatile enough to be deployed as a secondary wingback to support his fellow defenders. In this case was Mahmoud Ali, who was nowhere near Usman Baji, but Naoto Hiraishi making the help defense come in clutch and stopping any possible attacks of that scenario.
All personnel on deck for One Taguig FC after Finn McDaniel unable to find a teammate from that corner. Benny Makota gets a touch from that cross of Usman Baji. Placito working his way past. Oh, and a goal that is from Terrence Smith. Nonetheless, the defender who prevented many chances against One Taguig FC gets them back on level terms.
If you saw the reaction of that bench, they knew it was coming for such a long time. And from none other than Terrence Smith, the man who's been so solid at the back this whole night. How about him to be the one to equalize for Stallion Laguna? Take a look at the replay. Ball lands squarely at the feet of Abraham Placito, who knows Mukata was open, but Sato was marking him, takes the ball himself, fires it to the middle. Cupid was caught out of position. He was not expecting Terrence Smith to be there, to be at that point of the pitch. But Abe Placito knows where his guys are. He knew there would be a final man at the box. It just so happened to be the unbeatable man known as Terrence Smith.
Good look again of the pass from Abe Placito from our quad vision replay, courtesy of Upstream Sports TV, finding Terrence Smith on that left side and putting us back to where we started, back on level terms in this game. Yusuf Butt is talking to John Pineda. Not sure what the argument is all about. I think he's feeling something in his legs. We have to check later on if we got our cameras or our eyes on it.
If I'm not mistaken, Yusuf Butt was part of the goal scoring celebrations, was he not? Perhaps he celebrated too hard and pulled something there. Again, we're not sure. We didn't really get some eyes on it. We were too focused on that goal by Terrence Smith. But in Yusuf's Butt case, if there's one thing he's known for, it's being vocal and being very animated on his box. But here comes the chance by Andres Aldeguer.
What a touch from Andres Aldeguer from the pass of Mark Hartman, as after conceding a goal, they go right away and attack. Mark Hartman just unable to find a teammate there. Macmillan, though, heading it towards the path of Haber, being challenged on by Ken Pride. The man who marked him earlier on concedes a corner against One Taguig FC.
And with 78 minutes and some change already down, this all boils down to a game of attrition. Both of these guys are tired. They barely made any substitutions. Who wants it more? The Stallion want this game more to pull away from Aguilas in 6th place and inch closer to Kaya in 4th, or does One Taguig want this game more to build more space between them and a very dangerous Manila Digger side? Who they're playing next? Again, here we have another replay of the goal scored by Stallion Laguna. Abe Placito with a picture-perfect cross, bypassing every single One Taguig defender to find the most unlikely man to be in that position, Terrence Smith, who taps it home to cap off. What a fantastic performance from him tonight. If we had a chance to pick the player of the game, my pick would be Terrence Smith. That is for certain.
He's been in the thick of the action, Terrence Smith, but we have a couple of substitutions out here. You have Vasquez checking in. That's Aaron Vasquez checking in for Koichi Belgira. Then you have Isa Gaku being replaced by Zamorano Hoatham.
Gaku and Belgira both instrumental in helping Stallion regain equal footing in this game. Their nights are over, but this could be a key substitution by Coach Nieras. Here comes a corner by One Taguig.
Corner punched away by Yusuf Butt. Off to the races is Patrick Ling, keeping it in play. Unfortunately, though, for one Taguig. Hiraishi fakes it. Patrick Ling wins it for Stallion Laguna. Placito looking for the pass on the turn.
Ooh.
Now Ling trying to operate his way forward. Goes down, no foul called. Isaac Agiemang moving forward for one Taguig. Aldeguer is there for him. Agiemang continues the play. Still with Agiemang on the right side with a cross. Nobody there. Hardman on the left side. Still with Hardman. Now brings it down for Sato. Back to Hardman they go. Looking for the cross. Sending one in for Aldeguer. Agiemang with a pass for Aldeguer. Unable to get the touch cleanly. Whistle and offside. I think that offside is going to be called for Aldeguer in the earlier play.
One Taguig now realizing that they no longer have control of this game. Their chances of pulling away from Manila Digger are slipping by the second. They need to make this game count, because if they're going to go ahead and play against every single top 6 team for one more round, it all boils down to attrition and the quantity and the manpower that you have. And based on the bench that we're seeing right now, it's going to be a challenge for them. So any opportunity to pull away as early as now, they need to take that shot.
Again, they want Taguig FC have a match against Manila Digger FC on Wednesday. A crucial match at the top of the standings. We know Manila Digger FC is a game behind because of their AFC Challenge League assignments. After going down against Priakan's Vaireng here at home in the second leg of the AFC Challenge League, allows them to focus now on the Philippines Football League. Aaron Vasquez sending it forward for Hoatham. Porasuelo is there. A touch on Zamorano, and it's out for a goal kick.
Again, Forasuelo being so active, shutting down the man with the fresher legs, Zamorano Hoatam, who was brought in for moments like this to take advantage of tired legs on the defense to help support Finn McDaniel up top. But still, Pete Forasuelo, a thorn on their side.
7 minutes to play for in this game between one Taguig FC and Stallion. Handball, says the referee, in favor of Stallion Laguna FC.
And just circling back to what you said earlier, Jamer, about Manila Digger, you consider the recent form that they've been on in the PFL itself. Thrashing Maharlika 6-0, beating Cebu just now 4-0, beating Kaya twice convincingly. One Taguig have a lot on their hands, them being the top seed or not. Manila Digger is one of the teams you have to beat if you want to prove that you are worthy of the PFL crown.
An emphasis on the team to beat, as they're the only side who has gone on undefeated in the league so far. Hartman sends a ball forward. Yusuf Butt is ready for it.
That now makes 2 uncharacteristically misplaced passes from Mark Hartman. Could you say that fatigue is now setting into his legs? His passes not as sharp as they were earlier in the game. Here comes a chance by Stallion.
Zamorano with them on the turn, but just a touch too strong for Zamorano. And a counterattack for Agiemang and one Taguig FC. Haber with a chance. Yusuf Butt with a block.
Yusuf Butt, way to come up big. He's Pakistan's #1 for a reason. Shuts down a clear-cut attack by one Taguig. Marcus Haber denied his brace.
International talents going right at it here. The Philippines Football League. Haber with a clear-cut chance, but Yusuf Butt says no. One Taguig FC will come knocking on the doors once again. Stephen Holm to Hiraishi. Now on the left side they go with Kurt Dizon. McMillan is there to cover. Send it back to Stephen Holm. 5 minutes remaining in this encounter. Hardman, threaded pass. Aaron Vasquez is there to cover. Placito looking for his teammates up front. Zamorano couldn't pass the ball towards Mokota. Now Sato moving forward himself for Agiemang. In the middle, Agiemang challenged by Placito. Still with the Gemang, trying to wriggle his way past every player in black, but unable to do so. And Yusuf Butt will gather for Stallion Laguna FC.
Yusuf Butt, one of the new additions to this team, added in the winter window, spent plenty of time in Europe, bringing his wealth of experience and national team experience to the Philippines Football League. A magnificent capture from Stallion Laguna, a true testament to their scouting department.
Benny Makuta felt that challenge, and he's still down on the ground. But if you're looking on the movements on the bench here, Ed, you have Dorado shaping up to make his way into this game.
There's the contact there on Benny Makuta. A hit to his chest. Of course, if you're a winger and you've been running all game long, a hit to the chest is not a pretty feeling. Gonna knock the wind out of you. Here comes a substitution by Stallion Laguna. The main man, Terrence Smith, taken out of defense. In his place is yet another attacker, Magson Dorado. Could this be confidence by Ernie Nieras to trust in his remaining defenders and to trust in his revamped, bolstered forward line to carry his team over to the finish line in the 87th, approaching the 87th minute of the game?
Interesting change here for Coach Ernie Nieras and Stallion Laguna FC, the man who's been in the thick of the action for 86 minutes, has been subbed off for Magson Dorado, but we know his capabilities in attack. You have Dorado, you have Zamorano Hoatham, you have Finn McDaniel, the trident in attack for Stallion Laguna FC. But the question is, are they thinning the line in defense for Stallion Laguna in their efforts of getting full 3 points against Taguig FC?
An interesting choice as well, considering that Taguig have had some very dangerous chances so far. Continue to roll the die and believe in your offense by thinning out your defense. An interesting move, but it could be a move that backfires spectacularly, or it could be the move that could win them this game.
Casito to Dorado, trying to operate against Mahmoud Ali. We've seen this before. Zamorano blocked Stephen Alm with the clearance, bouncing inside the box. And Vasquez will let it go for a throw-in. Arvin J. Suleiman just wanting their defense to stay compact. The final 2 minutes in stoppage time here in this game. And De Guerre gets the ball away. Mark Hartman moving forward now for Taguig FC. Finds a man on the right. Oh, and that's the legs giving out for Aguiemang.
Fatigue, clear as day. Mark Hartman misplacing a pass that he normally makes in his sleep. Aguiemang no longer able to chase after that ball. Perhaps it's time to consider bringing him off. He looks spent.
And right on cue, Ed, that's going to be the substitution we are waiting for. That's Ichiro Aoki checking in for Isaac Aguiemang. Like what you've said, his days are done. He's spent in this game after his legs gave out from that last chance given to him by Mark Hartman. Ichiro Aoki steps into the game in replacement for Isaac Aguiemang.
Given how hard Aguiemang has been running this entire game for 89 minutes, it's amazing that he even made it to 89 minutes. But yes, his day is done. No longer keep up with the pace. It's a smart move to just preserve him for the big game on Wednesday against Manila Digger. But as of right now, we are about to approach the final extra time for this game. A final roll of the die here for Taguig. Can they make it count?
Hold on to your seat, folks. So we have a huge, huge stoppage time here. Quickly taken free kick. Mark Hardman finds Sato, shapes up, takes a strike. A chance. Dizon straight to the gloves of Yusuf Butt. Let that one go, but was able to save the second strike.
Yusuf Butt, this is exactly what Stallion brought him in to do. Daisuke Sato with a rocket from distance. Nearly disastrous there from Butt. A rebound on Dizon, but making up for his mistake by being active, by being aware of his situation. He knows D-zone was right in front of him. Make yourself look big, prevent the goal from flying in. That's exactly what he did. Way to stay active. Fantastic goalkeeping. 101 by Yusuf Butt.
Yusuf Butt saving the blushes of Coach Ernie Nieras and Stallion Laguna FC as Finn McDaniel is needing some treatment on the halfway line. Corner is impending for One Taguig FC, and we have 6 minutes of stoppage time here, maybe a minute more because of this stoppage for Finn McDaniel. Stallion will be playing with 10 men momentarily as Finn McDaniel gets a breather right here on the touchline. Hardman shaping up to take this corner. To get it inside, Usman Baji heads it away for another corner on the other side.
Defenders coming in clutch. 91st minute of the game. Mark Hartman delivering a set piece opportunity. Rely on your big guys to come up clutch, head the ball away from danger. Usman Baji bringing in exactly what he was brought in to do.
Hardman once again on the other side for the corner. A lot of options inside the box. Was far post for Haber, but Placito is there to cover. Sato against Zamorano. Now covered by 2 players in black. Still trying to wriggle his way past 2 players. And they have possession once more through a throw-in.
It's not every day that you see One Taguig send up wave after wave of offense, because typically one shot, one chance is all they need. But Stallion, their defense being so stubborn on their end, you feel like it's handling invasion after invasion. All they need to do now is to survive. And considering that they already took out Terrence Smith to do that, it's exponentially harder to keep up.
Also further ball goes to the side of Stallion Laguna FC after Abe Placito goes down. The last time that I've seen One Taguig FC send wave after wave of attacks was during that 1-0 win against Valenzuela PB Mendiola. All the way to the final minute, thanks to a penalty converted by Patrick Reichelt.
That was still one of the most unbelievable games that I was watching. That was the most stubborn defensive performance and the unluckiest offensive performance I have ever watched. You can only get those games here in the Philippines Football League.
3 minutes remaining. Ebene Makuta wins a throw-in for Stallion Laguna FC. Thinking who to pass the ball to. Sends it inside. Furusuelo is there to head it out.
This is where having an attacking overload comes into play for Stallion Laguna. You know your opposing defenders are tired. You have additional men up front. Now's the time to make use of that advantage.
Bouncing inside the box. A push, says John Pineda. And it allows One Taguig FC to breathe a little bit.
Coach Arvin J. Soliman barking orders at his players. He wants them to know exactly how to build out this play. 2 minutes and change remaining on the clock.
Reishi bringing it down for Ichiro Aoki. Ichiro sends it to the other side for Aldeguer. An opportunity here for the league leaders. Ichiro unable to convert. Still Aldeguer winning the ball for One Taguig in miscommunication with Mark Hartman. Dorado. Oh, strong challenge on Mahmoud Ali. And a red card has been brandished for Dorado.
A red card this late into the game. Would that even make any difference? I believe so. But Mahmoud Ali, this is not a pretty sight. He's in a lot of pain, clutching that knee. We're going to need a replay to find out exactly what happened. It was a hard contact. You heard it all the way from here, Jamer. We need to know how bad of a contact it was. He's holding on to his calf. My apologies, just correcting that there. Here comes the quad vision replay. Oh, that's smart. Mahmoud Ali got all ball there, but his trailing leg hit the knee of Magson Dorado. Unintentional from Dorado, of course, but contact is contact. It wasn't pretty. Brandished a red card, and now his day is done.
Came on as a substitute with a few minutes before 90 minutes. And now gets a red card himself. Stallion Laguna down to 10 men. One Taguig FC have a chance themselves to get full points in this match. Mark Hartman sends a long ball forward. Placito heads it out. Hiraishi is there. Hiraishi with a cross. Nobody on the right side, but offside flag is up.
Approaching the 96th minute. We are now in the final minute of extra time. Given that red card, I expect maybe a minute or two added on by the referee. But any attack here made by either team will most likely be their final chance. Now it's Stallion's chance to make the most out of this possession. They're already down to 10 men. They no longer have Terrence Smith on the field. Every player needs to work hard if they want to go get that goal. They still have Finn McDaniel up top, supported by Zamoranio Hotham and Kevin Ebenimakuta down the wings. The midfield is made up of Aaron Vasquez and Patrick Ling. Still have A. Placito down there as well.
Okota heads it forward, looking for Zamoranio. Zamoranio brings it down for Finn McDaniel, but Mahmoud Ali is there once again to help out in defense. Ball goes out of play, throw in. One final roll of the dice for Stallion Laguna FC on the attack. Zamoranio couldn't get that one in. Patrick Ling with the ball, taken away by Kurt Dizon. Counter attack for one Taguig FC. Patrick Ling takes it away. And that is full time, ladies and gentlemen. A crucial drop of points for one Taguig FC. Terrence Smith, who has been in the thick of the action in defense, helping Stallion Laguna FC and maybe, just maybe, helping out Manila Digger FC in their quest to take that top spot from one Taguig FC. One Taguig now with 52 points, 4 points adrift of Manila Digger FC. And how huge is this in the league standings?
The real winner of tonight's game is none other than Manila Digger, because one Taguig dropping points cuts down their lead advantage against Manila Digger to 4 points, like you just said. But make no mistake, this was a hard-fought game, ladies and gentlemen. Real end-to-end action, started by that goal by Marcus Haber early in the second half, or halfway through the second half, only to be negated by a goal from the unlikeliest source, Terrence Smith, who has put in a heroic defensive performance only to cap it off with the equalizing goal. Here's that first goal here. A beautiful pass by Mark Hartman, catching Stallion Laguna half asleep. Finished home by Marcus Haber. After that, Stallion Laguna really did wake up. Here's that equalizing goal. A. Placito making that, dancing the ball into the middle of the box. Tapped in by Terrence Smith. As a result, this game ends in dramatic fashion. You got to feel for both teams, putting it all on the line only to come out with a point each. Granted, at least it's not a loss, but still, what a missed opportunity this was.
This was the opportunity for one Taguig FC to get their lead, but Yusuf Butt saving the day for Stallion Laguna. Take a look at the full-time stats here, Ed.
In the second half, you see one Taguig making ground in terms of possession, still had more shots on target, still being more clinical than their counterpart, but unable to put any one of them away except for that first goal. You got to feel for one Taguig. They made some excellent plays, but just not able to finish on any of them, and now they have to deal with the Manila Digger side, who is one step closer behind them.
The championship round is getting thicker and thicker by the minute. And after 90 minutes here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, we end it as we started. Stallion Laguna FC 1, one Taguig FC 1. We thank you all for catching this game, and we hope to see you again. This is Jamer De La Cruz alongside Ed Lizaba, and thank you for catching the action here at the Philippines Football League 2025-26 season. We are PFL.
The game ended with a draw. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a really tough game, a tough battle between two really strong teams. We gave everything. We had a lot of chances. We had to dig in tough defensively, but we put on overall, it was a good performance. Just one lapse of concentration, but I like how we fought till the end. It was a good game overall.
So how do you plan to move forward with the result?
Move forward, we just have to keep going and keep fighting. You know, the season's not over. We just have to keep pushing forward and keep trying to win our games. All we can do is look ahead. We can't change what happened in the past. We just have to keep going forward and every day train hard, and let's see where the results put us.
What are your message to the fans?
The fans, you know, thank you for everyone supporting, you know, everyone that came out here. If you're in the Philippines, come out, come support the league, support your local players, come support the foreigners, and thank you to my family and my teammates for the man of the match.